obviously a lot of people are now expecting many other companies to follow suit. I mean, I think the ideas you're sharing, they are so spot on. I would be surprised if not more and more public like officers, decision makers understand that. What do you see as the timelines from your experience? Like, how long do you think our company's going to take to where a decision maker goes and says, okay, let me actually convince legal compliance, the finance, and until this is actually going to be executed? How do you see those timelines of it playing out? And I'm talking more about the larger companies right now, right? The public larger companies.
Yeah, well, I think that the institutional investors, especially the fast money institutional investors, what happens is those managing directors and partners, they move first with their own money. So you have high net worth individuals that move first because they just have to convince themselves. Then you have private companies, right? So a guy owns $1 billion private company. First, he invests his own money. He'll go and he'll buy millions of dollars of Bitcoin to get familiar. Then he'll talk to 2 or 3 people in his private company, or she will, and they will go and they will buy Bitcoin, and they're not going to announce it. They'll just do it for the company. And when you have institutional investors, it's the same dynamic. The managing partners, the general partners, will buy on their own account. Then they will socialize it with their team. Then oftentimes what they'll do is they'll say, I'm going to buy 1% or 2%, because they don't have to get permission from their limited partners to buy 1 or 2%. They can just do it. So you'll hear about, well, we have a small allocation. I have $10 billion of capital and we'll have a 1 or 2% allocation. They'll do that. And then they'll play with that and they'll let that go for about a year. Then they will go and start to communicate to their limited partners that, yeah, we did it and it worked really well. And the limited partners go, okay, well, since it's working well, then the pension funds and the endowments, right? The big Ivy League endowments, the big pension funds, they're like, okay, well, we'll crawl in and we'll put a little bit of our money in, and they'll start to bless a more aggressive move by the institutions. So then you'll hear about the $700 million, $800 million buys. They'll get more aggressive. Now, public companies, they have the most hoops to jump through, because a public company, you have the CEO has to get the officers on board. So the general counsel, the CFO, the finance team, they have to get comfortable. So they have to get educated. Then the board of directors has to get comfortable. So you'll see companies that are generally run by technology executives, Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, Michael Saylor, or a company that's a technology forward company. They will move first because normally they have the best communication channels with the board of directors. And also those companies understand you have to turn on a dime if you want to keep up with trends. If you don't actually take an aggressive stance, you'll miss the wave. So you'll see them, and you know, normally a public company, it's going to be massively fast would be 3 months. Fast is 6 months. You know, Square, Tesla, MicroStrategy, Marathon, Hut 8, some of those companies, they could be massively fast. They're the leaders. 6 months is more conventional. I think you'll start to see more coming in the 3 to 6 month time frame after, you know, February 8th. And then the leaders 12 to 24 months. And then, you know, when you get to the bigger conventional companies, 24 to 48 months, because they'll have a board of directors with 20 people on it, you know, and they'll have 40 people that have to get involved, and they'll meet once every 3 months. and they'll have tens of billions of dollars or hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're more like aircraft carriers, right? So like I have a $100 billion entity, and this is a very exciting idea. Can you talk to our executives? We have a slot for you in 2 months from now. And then if we like that, we'll study it for 3 months. And then in 6 months, we'll bring it up. And then, next year, it'll be an agenda item. So I think that they'll move a bit slower, but I think it's good because there's a phrase in Bitcoin, right? Everybody gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve.
I've never heard that one. I love it. I love that.
Look, if you looked at it and you made the decision, you could have bought it at 10,000. You knew as much then as you knew at 20,000. And when you got to 20,000, the people that weren't convicted, they're afraid. It's all-time high. I'm afraid. Some people buy it at 20,000. Some people waited till it was 30,000, decided it was okay. And then there are people that bought it at 30, and some people wait till 50. It's going to keep going up, and you're going to have, $100 billion entities buying it at 250,000, and then they'll be buying it at 500,000, and they'll be buying it at $1 million. And the good news is, if you're the individual and you can do the work and do the thinking for yourself and engage in that exercise, then you get a 1, 2, 3 year advance on everybody else. So I think that for 5 years, you're going to see progressive adoption institutionally. We'll see 10, 20 public companies in the next 12 months. Then it will double. Then it will double, right? And it'll just go like that. Just like we just crossed 100 million Bitcoin holders. And I think, we'll probably go through 200 million by the end of this year, and then we'll go to 400 million, and then we'll go to 800 million. I think we'll break 1 billion holders in 5 years, and when it's 1 billion, it'll still be kind of a new thing, but people will start to understand it then, and that's what keeps the price kind of moving on a steady curve, where you have an opportunity to get an investment edge. Once 1 billion people have it, and once 1,000 big companies are invested seriously, then it will start to mature, and then it'll start to become, it'll yield like the long-term money yield rate. So it'll go from a 200% a year to 150 to 100 to 75 to 50 to 30 to 20, to 10 to 9 to 8 to 6, and it'll be clipping along, right? It's like the money index, always positive, not negative. Over like, if you take a 4-year time horizon, I think you got to look at a 200 moving week average. If you look at it as a 200 moving week average, think of it as a monetary battery. It's just spinning up with monetary energy, or it's charging. And if you fixate on it every minute or every hour or every day or every week, you get yourself worked up. But if you step back and you just keep your eyes on the 200-week moving average, and if you have a 4-year time horizon, then it'll be a relaxing process. You don't have to worry about all these other things that are coming and going all the time, which can cause people anxiety.